You've been sold $1 billion lie. And the cruelest part is that you paid for it gladly, with a smile on your face, thanking the very people who were quietly taking you apart. Positive thinking isn't a gift. It isn't wisdom. It's a product. And like every product engineered to sell forever, it was built never to actually work, because a customer who gets fixed stops buying. A customer who stays broken but feels hopeful buys for life. Today, you're going to see the machine behind the curtain. Not the feel-good story they tell you, but the mechanics underneath. The way an industry worth tens of billions of dollars learned to turn your own mind into a tool that works against you. By the end of this, you'll never hear the phrase "good vibes only" the same way again. Let's begin where the scam begins, with a promise. You were told that your thoughts create your reality, that if you just believe hard enough, visualize clearly enough, and repeat the right affirmations into the mirror, the universe will reorganize itself to deliver what you want. It sounds generous, it sounds empowering, but look closer at what that promise actually does to you. If your thoughts create your reality, then every bad thing in your life becomes your fault. Lost your job? You attracted it with your negativity. Drowning in debt? You didn't visualize abundance. Sick, exhausted, struggling against a system stacked against you? You simply weren't grateful enough. Notice what just happened. In one elegant move, every structural problem in your life got transferred onto your shoulders. The economy didn't fail you. Your boss didn't exploit you. The system isn't rigged. You just had the wrong attitude. And now you'll pay anyone who promises to fix that attitude. But before you see how the machine runs, you need to know who built it, because this was not always the air you breathed. Rewind a little over a century. The idea that your mind could bend reality didn't grow out of careful science. It grew out of a movement that simply asserted that thought was a force, that sickness and poverty were errors of belief, that you could think your way into wealth and health. It was comforting, and it was also extraordinarily convenient for the people at the top. If poverty is a mindset, then nobody has to fix poverty. If illness is a failure of attitude, then nobody is responsible but the sick. A philosophy that turns every social problem into a personal one is a gift to anyone who benefits from things staying exactly as they are. Then it got industrialized. The thinkers became authors, the authors became seminars, and the seminars became franchises, retreats, certification programs, apps, and a river of merchandise somewhere along the way. A genuine human longing, the desire to suffer less and live better, got strip-mined and sold back to you at a markup. The longing is real. What they built on top of it is the scam, and that scam has a structure. Let me show you its gears. The first gear is redirection. It takes your legitimate anger, your justified frustration, the signal in you that says something out here is wrong, and it reroutes that signal inward. You stop asking who did this to me, and you start asking what's wrong with me. A person asking that second question is no threat to anyone. They're too busy fixing themselves to ever look up. That's why the message is always about your mindset and never about your circumstances. A mindset can be sold a solution. A circumstance might demand you confront someone with real power. The second gear is suppression, and this is where it stops being merely cynical and starts being genuinely dangerous to your mind. You've been trained to treat negative feelings as enemies. Sadness is low vibration. Anger is toxic. Fear is limiting. So the moment you feel one of these, you reach for the override. You force a smile. You recite the affirmation, you bury the feeling under a layer of manufactured positivity, and you call this growth. I want you to call it what it actually is. It's gaslighting, and you're doing it to yourself. Think about how gaslighting works when someone does it to you. A manipulator tells you that what you felt didn't happen, that your perception is wrong, that you're overreacting until you stop trusting your own mind. Now apply that exact definition to toxic positivity. Your body sends you a real signal. This situation is dangerous, this person is hurting me, this path is wrong, and you immediately tell yourself the signal is invalid. Stay positive. Don't be so negative. Everything happens for a reason. You become your own abuser. You've internalized the manipulator so completely that you no longer need one in the room. The industry taught you the script, and now you run it on yourself for free. And here's why that's so profitable. Your emotions aren't noise, they're data. Anger tells you a boundary was crossed. Fear tells you a threat is near. Disgust tells you something is rotten. These feelings are the most sophisticated warning system you'll ever own, and when you train yourself to suppress them in the name of positivity, you don't make the danger disappear. You just blind yourself to it. You go quiet exactly when you should be screaming. A person who can't read their own warning signals is the easiest person in the world to control. They can be overworked because they'll reframe exhaustion as hustle. They can be underpaid because they'll call gratitude a virtue. They can be mistreated because they'll assume the problem is their own perception. None of this is an accident. This is the product working exactly as designed. The third gear is the loop, and the loop is where the money lives. When you buy the book, attend the seminar, or download the meditation app, you feel something real, a genuine hit of relief. For a moment, you believe you finally found the answer, but that feeling isn't change. That feeling is the dopamine of buying the change, the same chemistry as a shopping high, dressed up in the language of transformation. Then the high fades, because nothing in your actual life shifted, and when it fades, you don't blame the product. You were trained not to. That was the first gear's job. You blame yourself. You didn't apply it correctly. You didn't believe enough. You fell back into old patterns. So you buy the next book, the advanced course, the premium tier. The scam isn't any single product. The scam is the loop itself, and you've been taught to run on it like a wheel, generating revenue with every turn while staying in exactly the same place. Sit with how dark this is. An entire industry discovered that the most reliable customer isn't a satisfied one. It's a hopeful one who never quite arrives. So they engineered hope as a subscription. They sell you the disease and the cure in the same breath, and they make sure the cure never takes. The fourth gear is the one that hurts the most. It's isolation from yourself. Each turn of the wheel teaches you to trust the guru's system a little more, and your own judgment a little less. You outsource the most intimate authority you have, the right to decide what you feel and what it means, to someone selling you a course about it. And a person disconnected from their own inner signal isn't just a good customer, they're a person who can be led almost anywhere. Maybe you're feeling defensive right now. Maybe a voice is saying, but positivity has helped me. I want to be precise here. Because this is where most people get lost. There's nothing wrong with optimism that's grounded in reality. There's nothing wrong with hope that fuels action. The poison isn't positivity itself. It's positivity used as a tool of denial. It's the difference between I feel afraid and I'm going to act anyway, and I refuse to feel afraid at all. The first keeps your warning system online. The second rips the wires out and calls it strength. Real strength was never about deleting your darkness. The people selling you light have a vested interest in you, fearing your own shadow, because a person at war with half of themselves is a person who'll keep paying for peace. But you can't suppress a part of yourself out of existence. Everything you refuse to feel doesn't vanish. It goes underground, and it runs you from there, leaking out as anxiety you can't explain, resentment you can't place, and a quiet exhaustion no affirmation can touch. The way out isn't more positivity. It's honesty, brutal, uncomfortable, unmarketable honesty. It starts when you let your negative emotions speak before you silence them. Next time anger rises, don't reach for the override. Ask it what it's telling you. Next time fear shows up, don't shame it. Ask it what it sees. Your darker emotions aren't character flaws to be affirmed away. They're scouts returning from the edge of your life with information you desperately need. It continues when you put the blame back where it belongs. Not everything is your attitude. Some things are genuinely wrong, done by genuinely real forces, and no amount of gratitude journaling will change them. Recognizing that isn't negativity. It's the first clear-eyed look you may have taken in years. And it finishes when you stop outsourcing your mind. Every guru promising you a system is, in some quiet way, asking you to distrust your own judgment and trust theirs instead. The most dangerous thing you can do to that entire industry is become someone who thinks for themselves, someone who feels the full range of their own emotions without flinching, someone who can no longer be sold their own happiness back to them, one purchase at a time. You were never broken, you were a market. And the moment you understand the machine that was built to keep you that way, you walk out of the showroom for good. So stop smiling through the pain and start listening to it. It's been trying to tell you the truth this whole time, the truth they spent billions making sure you'd never hear.